Alright, hey everyone. We're going to walk through the process of installing Android SDK and Eclipse IDE. For this process, I'm going to create several videos. Each part will guide you through the process. So start with part one, obviously, and work your way through. For getting things going, we're going to be using this Amazon resource. It's actually for setting up development for the Kindle Fire. But its directions are pretty good, and so I'll mention which steps to skip that aren't required. Secondly, I'll be installing this on my Windows computer, so Linux and Mac people, you can follow along, but some things will be slightly different, and I'll try to point those out as we go along. So as I mentioned, we're going to be using this resource right here. I'll post a link to it. If not, it's right there. You can see it. Next, let's come down here and check out the prerequisites. It says before you start downloading, make sure your system requirements will meet what is necessary for Android development. Make sure you have a fairly recent computer. That's pretty important, especially because the Android emulator, which you'll be using if you don't have an Android phone, is quite a power hog. So make sure you have a good computer. Next, it mentions you needing to install the Java JDK. So even if you've done development with NetBeans or something like that in the past, where you've actually compiled Java code, you still need to pull down the Java JDK. And the easiest way to check if you've already done that is to open up the command line and/or terminal and type in javac. And javac is the command for compiling Java. And as you can see here, I got a message saying javac is not recognized. So that means one of two things. I don't have the Java JDK installed, or I don't have Java on my path. And now path is this mythical thing that exists on all operating systems, and it's a place where the operating system looks for programs that you have installed when you reference them from the terminal command line. So in this case, let's just assume I don't have the JDK or Java JDK on my path, so let's walk through the steps of getting that installed. So it says, clicking on this link, Java SE downloads, it's going to take us to the Oracle web page. Linux users, even if you have the Open JDK, which I believe comes packaged with popular Linux packages, you'll still want to pull down Oracle's version because it just runs better with Android. Mac users, I know in the past Apple used to bundle Java with the OS X, but I don't know if that's still the case. You Mac users can open up your terminal and type in javac, and if it works, then I think you'll be okay. So let's come down here. What you'll want to do is click this accept radio button, and then for your particular platform, choose the version of the JDK. As you can see here, Linux 86, 64-bit, and here's Mac OS X 64-bit. That's why I'm not sure if Apple has stopped supporting Java or not. So 64-bit users of Mac, you might need to pull this one down. I have Windows, so I would click on the X64 and start downloading that. Observant users will note that in reading the Amazon page, it suggests you pulling down the x86 library even if you have the 64-bit system. I have pulled down the 64-bit library and have been fine with it, so it's up to you what you want to do. So once that finishes downloading, you'll then double click on the executable and run through the wizard. If you're using Mac or Linux, make sure to note where it's going to get installed. So take a moment to pause the video and wait for everything to get finished, and then we'll resume. Alright, so I'm assuming everything's good to go now. So let's see if you successfully installed the Java JDK. So on Windows, what you'll do is click on Computer, click on the C drive, and then if you installed the 64-bit edition, you'll see it inside of Program Files. If you're on an 86-bit machine or you install the 86 library, it'll be in program files x86. So I did the 64-bit, so I'll click on program files, click on Java, and then here you'll see a folder, JDK, and then some version number. Don't worry if your version number doesn't match mine. I've downloaded it in the past. Yours is new, so it's going to be a higher version number. So click on the JDK folder and then click on the bin. And then inside of here you'll see all these little applications, and the one of much interest is this JavaC one. That's what we tried to type in on the terminal earlier and it said it failed. So now that we have the JDK installed, let's add the JDK to our path. So Linux and Mac users, you're going to have to do a Google search to figure out exactly how to change your path. To add the JDK, it's not rocket science. It's kind of similar to what I'm going to be doing with Windows, but obviously you have to change a different file for this to work. But on Windows, all you need to do is click the Start button and then right click on Computer and then select Properties and then click Advanced System Settings, and then you'll click Environment Variables and come down and you'll click Path. And what we'll want to do is click Edit, and then what you want to do is go to the very end of this string right here. And so as you can see, I'm at the very end, and you want to make sure that there's a semicolon at the very end of this string, because the semicolon is what separates the URIs. If you get them mixed and mashed together, things aren't going to work properly on the path. So insert a semicolon if you don't have one, and then paste in the URI of your JDK location, and then I always like to end it with a semicolon so next time I don't have to worry about it. And then I click OK, click OK again, click OK. And now for all Windows, Linux, and Mac users, the telltale if you successfully added it to your path is you come back to the terminal and type in JavaC. Something that's important to note is if you already had a terminal that's open, it's pointing to an old path. So what you should do is exit and reopen and type in JavaC, and if everything worked, instead of seeing unrecognized command, you'll see a list of options for compiling Java. So hopefully you've reached this point. If not, go back, watch the video again, or make a Google search and try to figure out what you did wrong along the way. This concludes part 1. Next I'll show you how to pull down the Android SDK in Eclipse.